Hey everyone, this is Kyle, back again for Teacher Tuesday. And today I'll be talking about some basic classroom management tips to help you maintain control of your classroom and facilitate a productive learning environment. So before I get started, it's important to always keep in mind that Vietnamese students are busy. They're in public school from around 8 a.m. until about 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday. And then from 4 until 9 p.m. they have all kinds of extra classes, whether it be a math tutor, a piano class, or an English class at a language center. So English language centers have classes from that time window from about 4 until 9 p.m. And when they come to your class, they're tired. They want to relax and chat with their friends and not take it too seriously. They tend to see English as an extra class. They already have so much on their plate. English is just one more thing they have to learn. So they don't necessarily take it very seriously after being in school all day, understandably. But that is why it's so important to give your class structure through classroom management. Tip number 1 is be consistent. Have rules and enforce them. On the first day of every new class you have, you should come up with 2 to 3 simple rules as a whole class. Write them down on a poster or something small you can hang up on the wall every time you have a class. And then create a short list of positive and negative consequences. Things that'll happen if students do follow the rules or if they don't. So some typical positive consequences or rewards could be stickers, high fives, or maybe even leave for break 5 minutes early, things like that. Negative consequences should be a leveled system of minor to more severe consequences. So the first time a student breaks a simple rule, I will give them a warning. The second time, I will relocate them in the class to move them away from the students they're chatting with. The third time they break a rule, that means their name will go into the teacher folder, which then means that the front desk staff will call their parents and tell their parents that their child was being disrespectful and disruptive in class. That usually stops them. But then the fourth step of the chain is I will call the security guard in the hallway to come remove the student from the class because they're being disruptive and messing up the learning environment for everybody else who's actually trying. Also, have routines. So students know what to expect from you at the beginning of class, how to ask to go to the bathroom, and what to do at the end of class. So at the beginning of class, I don't recommend you start with taking attendance because as most teachers already here teaching know that a large percentage of students are always late. So you simply can't take attendance at the very beginning of class. Also, it's kind of a boring way to start class. So I recommend doing some kind of engaging warm-up. A warm-up can be a revision of last week's lesson, a springboard into the lesson of the day, or something just fun and English related. So for the bathroom, my routine has always been just have the students raise 2 fingers, which means they have to go, and I will either nod, which means yes, you may go, or which means not a good time, as you should know. Try asking again at a better time. And then at the end of class, it's good to end with some kind of wrap up to bring it all together at the end. And that can be some kind of short game, a mini worksheet, or a ticket out the door. A ticket out the door is a question that requires a short answer. You ask the class and have them write the answer on a small piece of paper. And they give that paper to you as they walk out the door so the teacher can get an overall understanding of how well the whole class understood the lesson. Tip number 2 is try to make the content relevant to the students' lives. A lot of English textbooks here can be a little bit outdated or just not relevant to Vietnamese kids. So if your lesson happens to be on famous monuments in Europe where Vietnamese students may not have been before, change that to focus on national parks or famous monuments in Vietnam, so students can have more of a connection with the topic. Or just chat with them before class, during break time, after class if you can, and find out what they like. If you can intentionally tailor your lessons to match the interests of your students, classroom management will go much, much smoother. Tip number 3 is have a quiet signal. When students are in the middle of some kind of activity or doing a speaking dialogue and it's time for them to focus back in on you, you need some kind of routine to get their attention back on you, which is not yelling. In my opinion, good teachers should not have to yell to get students' attention. But in public school, I have not had experience teaching there, but there can be between 30 and 50 students there. And I've heard that you tend to get a microphone in those big classes, so you still don't need to yell to get their attention. So my go-to quiet signal is, it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that means students have 5 seconds to do 3 things. Stop talking, focus in on me, and raise their hand. Them raising their hand is a visual signal for the rest of the class in case they can't hear me saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to focus in on me and stop talking. You can also do some kind of clapping rhythm. They can repeat, like they repeat, they repeat, and then soon you'll have the whole class repeating after you. For older students, you can do something more subtle, such as if the majority of the class has your attention and you're waiting for 3 people to stop talking, you can say that. I'm waiting for 3 people. Okay, now I'm waiting for 2 people. Now I'm just waiting for 1 more person and we can start. And lastly, it's very important to not start talking until you have 100% of the student's attention on you and all the talking has stopped. Which is very hard to do, I know. But if you do start talking when there's still 3 or 4 students still chatting over you, you're setting the bar to that level. And students will know what they can get away with. And they'll gradually start taking more and more from you and talking louder and louder until it's back out of control and you don't even realize it. So you need to set the bar at 100% attention before you start talking again. There you have it. 3 quick tips to maintain control in your classroom and create a positive, productive learning environment. Whether students want to admit it or not, they do crave structure because it makes them feel safe enough to learn. So they will respect you even more if you can create that kind of environment for them to feel comfortable to learn. This is a huge topic, I know, and I'm just scratching the surface here of things you can do. So feel free to share in the comments things that have worked for you, tips, tricks, things that people can use tomorrow in the classroom that can help create that fun but structured environment. Thanks.